the season. So just like that, the Vikings have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. They're definitely in business here in the bottom of the first inning. Black delivers the 0-1. Curveball strike up high, but catches at the letters. The count now 0-2 on Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn with the runner in scoring position would love to add to that 5 RBI total. Black's delivery. Vaughn swinging in the dirt. And he's going to get on first base on the drop third strike. Catcher Rhodes Bledsoe could not get the handle on that one.
Number 6, Jacob.
And there was no way he could make a throw anywhere. Carino had broken for the base, and Carino stealing distracted Bledsoe, and Bledsoe just could not get the handle on the ball. So the Vikings, despite the strikeout, have runners on the corners with nobody out, and that brings up Jacob Velos, the sophomore shortstop. Velos hitting .216 on the season with a team-leading 10 runs batted in. The .216 average is a little bit deceptive. Teams have been pitching around him all season long. And the throw over to first, a little bit high. Brooks Bentley has to kind of climb the ladder, but he hangs on to it. Throw over again. Vaughn diving in. Bentley has problems with that one in the dirt. Vaughn with 5 stolen bases on the season. Runners on the corner. You can expect some mischief coming up right here. So Carter Black gets the sign from Rhodes Bledsoe. Comes set, the delivery in the dirt. Vaughn breaks for second, goes in uncontested. So the Vikings now with runners on second and third base with nobody out. And dangerous Jacob Velos at the plate. Velos ahead of the count, 1-0. Here's Black's delivery. Velos didn't like the looks of it, took a strike, strike 1. He didn't expect that breaking pitch. They're being patient because Black has had problems finding the zone here. So, coming set, here comes Black's 1-1 delivery. Nope, he steps off the rubber. Carino took a fairly large lead. Shortstop Brock Johnson behind him, but they did not throw to second. So we reset and go at it again. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch up high, just a little bit above the letters, just a little bit out of the zone. Velos lays off. It is now a 2-1 count. Runners on second and third. Cam Carino, Nolan Vaughn, a couple of fleet runners. Big opportunity for Pacelli, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. And the pitch. Velos grounds it to short. Brock Johnson scoops it up, has only one play over to first, and the throw goes wide. Cam Carino scores. The ball chased down by Brooks Bentley quickly enough so nobody can advance beyond that.
Number 14.
But a run comes home. Velos will get an RBI regardless of whether that play is whether that's called a hit or an error. He may have had the throw beaten anyway. And time is called. Mound Conference for Westfield. They're trying to get things together. The Vikings already tying things up. There's nobody out. Runners on the corners here. 1 run already in. A 1-1 contest. Still waiting to see what the official scorer will call this one. I'm of both minds. The throw was a little wide. Anyway, the Vikings looking pretty good here. They're trying to take advantage of any opportunities they're given. A walk and a wild pitch, which is essentially a wild pitch on a third strike. They've got to run without getting a hit yet. Dustin Sherman coming to the plate, the senior. Come up with some clutch hits lately. He's hitting 182 but he's got 5 runs batted in. Had a huge 2-run single against Brookstown in the final game of that series. So Black over to first. Velos goes diving back in. Vaughn watching to see where that one goes. Sherman with a big opportunity here. Back over to first again. Velo slides in. Vaughn's thinking about it. They have to keep an eye on him. So Pacelli with one in, with a chance maybe for more here in the bottom of the first inning. The delivery. Catches the corner, strike one. 0-1 count now on Dustin Sherman. Yep, they're going to call that one an error. Vikings looking to maybe put together a big inning here. They've got all the makings for it. The pitch outside. Velos breaks for second. Bledsoe fakes a throw. Velos goes in uncontested. So runners again on second and third with nobody out. Clean hitter Dustin Sherman up here trying to do a little cleaning up. Black getting the sign from Bledsoe. He comes set. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, a little bit high. 2-1 count now. Meanwhile, Levi Thompson on deck for the Vikings. Vikings 1 run, threatening more. Black taking his time here. Gets the sign. Goes into the stretch. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball. Sherman holds off. Thought about it. Pitch way a little bit too much outside. Sherman showing good plate discipline. 3-1 count now on the senior first baseman. 2 speedy base runners on. A hit should mean 2. 3-1. Sherman fouls it off into the dirt, pops up and taps him. So the count now 3-2. 1-1 here, bottom of the first inning. Carter Black trying to pitch out of a big jam here. He comes set. The delivery. Sherman holds off, ball 4. So the bases are now loaded with nobody out. And catcher Levi Thompson comes to the plate.
Catcher, number 7, Levi Thompson.
Levi's hit 116 with 4 runs batted in. There's a chance for him to do some damage here. Bases juice, nobody out. Bottom of the first in a 1-1 contest with Westfield. Carter Black coming set. First pitch to Thompson. Thompson swinging, fouls it off for strike 1. The Vikings put together some big innings so far this season. This would be a perfect time for one as they seek their first district win of the season. Black stepping off the rubber, gathering himself. So here we go on this sunny March afternoon. Perfect weather for baseball. The 0-1. Thompson swinging, sends it to right field, and that's going to go off the fence. Here comes Nolan Vaughn. Jacob Velos sprinting on home. The throw late, skips past the catcher, but good defense by Westfield. That keeps Dustin Sherman being able to advance to second, but Levi Thompson with a 2-run single to right field. A pair of runs come home, and the Vikings have taken a 3-1 lead. Hey, that could be a Houlihan's play of the week, getting the Vikings getting that big lead already. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Vikings with 3 on the board already, leading this one by a score of 3-1. And coming to the plate is Aiden Dixon. Dixon, a sophomore right fielder, hitting .043 on the season, but he's got a run batted in. Dixon taking a first pitch up high for ball 1. Dixon struggled at the beginning. The last couple of games, he started to get really good contact. Had a big RBI against Brookstone. Settling in. So Vikings with 3 on the board, 3-1, trying to extend that lead some more. The pitch. Breaking ball outside, ball 2, 2-0. Now on Aiden Dixon. On deck is Sean Maglione, the designated hitter. Black comes set. The 2-0. Dixon swinging, fouls it off. Straight behind the plate. over toward the church. Count now 2-1. Both teams are young teams. Vikings with only 2 seniors in the starting lineup today. Westfield with just 1. And sophomore Carter Black on the mound. Comes set. And and Dustin Sherman breaks early. And he is thrown out. But on the play, he broke early, basically, and he was trying to get Black to perhaps balk. And now Matt Ward out there to try to talk to the base umpire, Jason Yon, about did Black step off the rubber properly? Did he balk? That's the question. And it appears Black did everything A-OK. Broke off, stepped off the rubber, and was able to gun Sherman trying to steal second base. Thompson going to second on the play. But that's the first out of the inning. Runner at second, 1 out now for Aiden Dixon. Again, the count 2-0. Or 2-1, rather. Black gets the sign. And here's the delivery. Up high, 3-1 count now on Aiden Dixon. Dixon's already walked 6 times this season. Black comes set. And the pitch. Up high, ball 4, 7th walk of the year for Aiden Dixon. And there are once again runners in first and second with just 1 out. And that'll bring up designated hitter Sean Maglione, the sophomore.
Sean Maglione.
Maglione's hitting .241 of the season with 7 runs batted in. Got a couple of doubles, too. Vikings, 3-1. Looking to add to it here in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch. Up high, swing and a miss, strike. The ball went back to the screen. And pinch runner Greg Carter broke for third and got gunned by Rhodes Bledsoe. He hesitated just a little bit too long. The swing for Maglione, he missed it. Ball went back to the screen. Carter breaks a little bit late and gets thrown out. So there's 2 outs now, both outs coming on caught stealing. Maglione with a runner at second and 2 outs. Breaking ball, a little bit inside. So count 1-1. Vikings, 3 in the inning. They'd like to add another one. Maglione would love to trade places with Aiden Dixon. The pitch driven foul on the right side. So the count now 1-2. Black trying to get out of this with as little damage as possible. He's had a tough first. The pitch. Maglione swing and a miss in the dirt. They're going to have to throw to first to get him. And the throw to first goes over the head of the first baseman, and that allows Aiden Dixon to come in to score on the throwing error by the catcher, Rhodes Bledsoe.
Number 10, Cal Brent.
So the inning is still alive. 2 strikeouts in which the runner reaches base. The Vikings will take all the breaks they can get. They now have a 4-1 lead on the Hornets. And Cal Brent, the number 8 hitter in the inning, coming to the plate. Brent, the third baseman, hitting .350 on the year. First pitch swinging, strike 1. Brent hitting .350 with 3 runs batted in. He leads the team in on-base percentage at .480. He wasn't a starter at the very, very beginning of the year, but he's played his way into the lineup. Trying to add to this lead. Black delivers the pitch, and it's hit the left field, but it hangs up long enough for Cooper Kinney to run under it, and that is the inning. But in the inning, the Pacelli Vikings scoring 4 runs on just 1 hit. There were 2 errors and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 1 inning, it's Pacelli 4, Westfield 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And we're back at Diamond Field for the top of the second inning. Westfield and Pacelli going at it. Hey, today's game is brought to you by Glenn-Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, the first and original presenting sponsor on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. All right, coming to the plate for Westfield, the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Leading things off, pitcher Carter Black. First pitch to Black fouled off into the screen. Black hitting .226 on the season with 7 runs batted in. Billy Smith on the mound for Pacelli. A couple of strikeouts in that first inning, surrendering 2 hits and giving up a run, but settling down. Next pitch, Black off the fists. Goes foul. Bounces toward the Pacelli dugout for strike number 2. Smith's been ahead of the hitters all the way through here. He's pitching fairly efficiently. 4 runs for Pacelli in the bottom of the first. Westfield with one of theirs in the top of the inning. Here in top 2, now 1-2. Smith's pitch way up there. So 1-2 count on Carter Black. And the 1-2. Swinging, Black sending it to right to left field. Is it going to stay fair? No, it goes foul and out of play. Both Jacob Velos and Carter Dixon gave a good run on that one, but that was going to be out of reach. And, of course, welcome to the folks from Middle Georgia Sports Live here. Checking in our game here as their Westfield Hornets come to Columbus to take on those Pacelli Vikings. If you're just tuning in, it is top of the second. Pacelli holding a 4-1 lead. Billy Smith winds. Here's his 1-2 delivery. A little bit outside. So the count now 2-2 on Carter Black. Smith working quickly. Here's the 1-2. Fastball driven to left field. Carter Dixon under it. Makes the catch. Tough play. That's the sun field right now. The sun is starting to set, which means left field, you're fighting it all the way.
Brett Young.
But he makes the play for out number 1. That'll bring up sophomore right fielder Brett Yawn. Yawn hitting .250 on the season with 5 runs batted in. Westfield trying to respond after giving up 4 runs in the bottom of the first. First pitch, fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Driven right back. Billy Smith, that was a seed right back at him. He had to catch that one in self-defense. He didn't even have to move his glove. That thing came right at him, letter high. Just, it was a rip. That would have hurt if he hadn't caught it because it would have caught him square in the chest. Out number 2. Yawn got all of that one. So 2 outs here. That brings up Cooper Kennedy, the left fielder, the freshman. Kennedy 0 for 4 in his plate appearances on the season. He's primarily a pitcher. But he starts out he's seen a lot of action in left field as well. The pitch, a little bit inside. 2-0 count. Smith gets the sign. Here's his 2-0. Swinging, fouled off the fists, back toward the church. No, it was actually back toward the cars, but no cars were injured in the making of this one. It just missed a truck. You can park close at Pacelli games, but you're rolling the dice. Here's Smith's 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Smith, a little bit of high heat there. So now the count 2-2. And the delivery. A little bit low. So the count now 3-2. Giannis worked the count full, or excuse me, Kennedy working the count full. Trying to get something on, get something going here. A little 2-out thunder is what he's hoping for. Billy Smith's got his own ideas. Here's the payoff. A little bit inside, ball 4. First walk of the day for Smith. And with 2 outs, the Hornets keeping the inning alive. And that will bring up the number 9 hitter, catcher Rhodes Bledsoe.
Now batting, number 17, Rhodes Bledsoe.
Bledsoe hitting 194 on the year. He's got 7 runs batted in. Got 4 doubles. So he's got some power. Left-hand hitter with an open stance. Smith out of the stretch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So 0-1 count on Rhodes Bledsoe. Smith checks the runner, comes set. And the delivery. Outside. Ball 1. 1-1. Thompson had chased that one just a little bit. Keep it under control here. 1-1 count on Bledsoe. Runner in first, 2 outs here. Smith. The delivery. Swing fouled off into the screen. And that makes the count 1-2. One thing with Westfield, they like to run. They've got a couple of their guys have double digits of stolen bases.
Go, Bill.
So Levi Thompson needs to stay awake. Back behind the plate. Smith coming set. Over to first. Kennedy dives in. Wasn't close, but they let him know he's there. They know he's there. All right, here's Smith 1-2. A little bit outside. Couldn't get Bledsoe to chase. So the count is now 2-2. And the pitch, runner going, ball 3. The throw down to second, and they gun him. Levi Thompson, perfect throw down to second. And the tag applied, and that ends the inning. So in the inning, no runs on no hits, there were no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 1 1/2 innings, Pacelli 4, Westfield 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Back to Dabble Field for the bottom of the second inning of this District 5 contest between Westfield and Pacelli. For the Vikings, it'll be 9-1-2 in the inning. Pacelli sending 8 men to the plate and scoring 4 runs and just 1 hit in the bottom of the first inning. Some defensive blows, a little bit of drop third strike, and getting a lot of breaks. The Vikings making them very most of it. Well, they say in the big inning is how it starts, right? So here we go. Coming up to lead things off will be left fielder Carter Dixon, the junior.
Carter Dixon.
Dixon coming into the ball game hitting just 100, but he's got a couple of runs batted in. As we get things set, Rhodes Bledsoe checking with his pitcher, Carter Black, to make sure everybody's on the same page. And so here we go. Bottom of the second getting started here at Dimel Field. Black getting the sign. He's been pitching out of the stretch by choice. First pitch, low, ball one. 1-0 count on Carter Dixon. Vikings would love to add to this lead. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, up high, ball two. 2-0 count on Dixon. Here's Black's delivery. Up high, strike one. That's the letters. It catches it. Hey, make sure you follow Georgia Alabama Sports Live on all social media platforms for the latest updates on local sports in our area. Don't miss a game. Subscribe to all of our pages today. Carter Black, 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball three. Ball squirts away from Rhodes Bledsoe, chased down, and gets it back to Black. So a good count for Carter Dixon. It's a hitter's count, 3-1. Black's going to have to come in with something. Let's find out what it's going to be. He comes set. Here's Black's pitch. Swinging, fouled off. Back into the screen. The count now 3-2. Full count on Carter Dixon, leadoff man, number 9 hitter in the Pacelli lineup. Their top hitter, Cam Carino, on deck, waiting to come to the plate for the second time in this contest. Black comes set. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking pitch, strike three. Dixon takes it. And that is out number one here in the second inning. So that will bring up Cam Carino, the junior second baseman, who came into the game hitting .420 with a couple of homers. In his first at bat, he walked, stole second and third, and then came home on a grounder that was thrown away. Here's Black's first pitch to Carino. In the dirt. Ball one. Cam would love to take a hack at it. But they're going to be careful with him. They have to be. He's dangerous. The 1-0. Outside in the dirt. 2-0 now on Cam Carino. When you want to hack at it and they're not throwing at it, it gets frustrating. Hitters have to show a lot of discipline, because you swing at bad pitches, you're going to not make good contact. Next pitch, low, ball three. 3-0 count on Carino. Matt Ward reminding his guy, take what they give you. So Black comes set. Here's his 3-0. Outside, ball four. And so Carino walking for the second time in this ball game.
Now batting for your Vikings.
And that will bring up Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn in his first at-bat struck out. Wasn't an out. He managed to get to first on the wild pitch. One of two in that first inning that helped lead to 4 runs by the Vikings. So Carino, who stole 2 bases in the first, gets a pretty good lead off first. Over to first. The throw. Carino broke on the first pitch to Vaughn last time out. We'll see how the Vikings play this one. Vaughn stepping in, getting ready. Black, very cognizant of the lead taken by Carino. Back over to first again. In the dirt. Bentley knocks it down, chases it down before it goes too far. This could take a while. We'll see if we finally get that first pitch to Vaughn. Black checking the runner. He goes. So does Carino. Carino and the ball slips out of the hand of Bledsoe. He never got a chance to make a throw, but Carino got such a big jump, he was probably in anyway. His third stolen base of the day, his 12th in the season, leading the team. And so the Vikings, the runner in scoring position with just one out, they're in business trying to extend their 3-run lead. Nolan Vaughn looking to deliver here. Carter Black gets the sign from Rhodes Bledsoe, comes set. Here's the 1-0. In the dirt, ball 2. So 2-0 count now on Nolan Vaughn. Shortstop Brooks Johnson playing behind Carino as he leads off second. Carino taking a smaller lead than normal. Johnson sliding back over to his fielding spot. There's the pitch. Breaking ball gets past the catcher. Carino going all the way to third. No problem there. So runner on third with one out. Vaughn trying to bring home run number 5 if he can. So here we go. Vaughn on 3-0. Here's Black's delivery. That's a strike down the middle. Vaughn taking it all the way, which was a smart play. Black's been having fun trying to find the strike zone today. He's going to be throwing his 45th pitch here. And the 3-1 delivery. Vaughn fouls it off in the screen for a strike. So now it is the 3-2 count, full count on Nolan Vaughn. Vikings up 4-1. Jacob Velos is on deck. Velos driving in the first run, and he would get on base on a throwing error on the play. Black comes set, 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Catches the outside corner, strike 3 for out number 2. A couple of strikeouts for Carter Black here in the second inning, both of the looking variety, both on breaking pitches are entirely unexpected by the hitter. So now there's 2 outs. Runner on third, Jacob Velos at the plate. Velos, as mentioned, got on an error in the first inning. Hit a ground ball in the hole at short. Cam Carino scored, and the ball got thrown away. Pitch. Velos, sharp grounder in the hole at short. Brooks Johnson can't do anything with it. All he does was stop it, but that brings Carino home. It's a base hit for Velos. Another run for the Vikings, and they have now taken a 5-1 lead.
Number 14, Justin Sherman.
Velos grounding that thing into the hole is short. Johnson doing his best, stops it but slides. There was no way he was going to be able to throw. Carino just strolled on home with that run. Dustin Sherman coming to the plate now. Sherman walked in the first. First pitch to Sherman, breaking ball. Velos goes on the pitch, sliding in headfirst safely for his second stolen base of the game. And that gives Velos 8 on the season. So the Vikings, with the runner in scoring position, 1 run already in. Dustin Sherman looking to extend the 5-1 lead. Carter Black in the stretch, the sophomore delivering the 1-0. Well, he breaks instead, looks towards second, does not throw. They're very aware of Velos out there. Velos with good speed. He's going to be off on contact. And the pitch to Sherman. Sherman holds off. He thought about it. It was a little bit outside. Count now 2-0. Velos taking a really nice lead off second. The second baseman, Blake Loden, playing behind the bag. Black comes set to the plate. Sherman takes it on the outside corner, strike 1. If you didn't like the pitch, you don't hack at it in this kind of situation. Be patient. Count now 2-1 on Dustin Sherman. Velos again a pretty solid lead off second. Loden, but no, he goes to the plate. In the dirt, Velos breaks and slides in head first. He is safe. Ball went in the dirt. Velos did not hesitate. He broke for third, slid in safely. So now, another run just 90 feet away. 3-1 count on Dustin Sherman, a good hitter's count Sherman trying to see if he can convert this thing into a 6th run in this ball game. The pitch. Up high, ball 4. So Sherman walks for the 2nd time in this ball game. And that extends the inning. That will bring up catcher Levi Thompson. Thompson, single to right field, brought in a pair of runs in that 4-run first. Thompson with 6 runs batted in on the season. Got a chance to put another, at least one more up here. Running to the corners, 2 outs here. Black checking a runner at first. Goes to the plate. In the dirt, skips past the catcher. Sherman trotting down to second base on the wild pitch. But, of course, the screen, the backstop is right on home plate here at Pacelli, and it bounced right back to Bledsoe. There was no chance at all for Carino to break from third. But runners in second and third now with 2 outs. Vikings with 1 run in. They'd like to add a couple more. Putting a crooked number up in both the first and the second innings would be big. Carter Black comes set. Here's the 1-0. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 count now on Levi Thompson. Vikings trying to make the most of the opportunities that have been handed here. Trying to earn win number 1 in the district. Carter Black comes stretch to the stretch. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 3. 3-0 count now on Levi Thompson. Aiden Dixon is on deck. Black's pitch count already up to 55, and we're in the second. The sophomore comes set. The 3-0. Inside, ball 4. So Thompson trots that down to first. Bases loaded here with 2 outs. We're going to get the courtesy runner, of course, and as expected, I think it'll be Greg Carter. It is. The sophomore come on in. Gives Thompson a chance to head to the dugout and strap on the tools. Meanwhile, looks like we are going to have a pitching change. So, with that pitching change, let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with 3rd row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile!
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half.
I'm bringing the pep talk.
Come on!
I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
Back at Dynamo Field, pitching change for the Westfield Hornets. Cooper Kennedy has come in from left field to take over on the mound. Kennedy, a freshman, but he's seen a lot of action on the mound for the Hornets. It's his 8th appearance on the season. Kennedy, a 3-2 record with a 2.13 ERA. He's pitched 23 innings, given up just 18 hits, given up 20 runs, but only 7 of those runs were earned. Struck out 37, which leads the team, giving up 11 walks. He surrendered just 1 home run. He's got 7 wild pitches, but opposing hitters are hitting just 198 against him. A freshman left-hander who has been fairly effective all season long. He's going to come in and try to shut the door here and try to keep the damage to a minimum. Pacelli with a 5-1 lead, bases loaded, 2 out, and Aiden Dixon coming to the plate. Rhodes Bledsoe heading out there, talking things over with Kennedy. Carter Black, 1 2/3 innings, giving him 2 hits, and at this point, 5 runs, but just 2 of them earned. He struck out 4, but he walked 6, and he threw 2 wild pitches. So here we go, new pitcher trying to do a reset. The Hornets trying to do a reset, trailing 5-1 here in the bottom of the second. Aiden Dixon trying to see if he can add to that lead. Cooper Kennedy will work out of the wind to lefty with his first pitch. Dixon fouling it off back toward the church. And it is strike one. 0-1 count on Dixon. Dixon walked and stole second and later scored on an error in the first inning. He scored the 4th of those 4 first inning runs. Kennedy gets the sign. And the left-hander goes into the motion and pitches. Big curveball, big swing, big miss. Strike 1. Or strike 2 now. 0-2 count on Aiden Dixon. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Sean Maglione on deck, hoping to get a shot at it. Dixon looking to protect the plate, get on base any way he can, keep the parade moving. 1 run in for the Vikings in this inning. They'd like to get more. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Full count now. Okay, full count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Yeah, the merry-go-round will start on the delivery. Everybody will be in motion. Kennedy gets the sign, nods, goes into the windup, and here we go. And it's outside, ball 4, and a run comes home on a bases-loaded walk. So give Dixon a ribby, give the Vikings another run. They now have a 6-1 advantage. And Sean Maglione's looking to see what he can do about adding to that one. He got on in the first inning. He struck out, but it was a drop third strike. And he went out. He made it to first. So he's 0 for 1 on the day. Here's Kennedy's first pitch to Maglione. Maglione, check swing. No, he went. He tried to hold up, couldn't hold up on that high fastball. So it's an 0-1 count on the sophomore designated hitter. Kennedy nods. Here we go, the 0-1. In the dirt. Gets away from Bledsoe, but nothing doing. It didn't go very far. Bledsoe pounced on it very quickly. He's had a busy time back there. Trying to keep everything in front of him right now. The minimal amount of damage. Cooper Kennedy's pet. Dustin Sherman on third. You've got Greg Carter on second. Aiden Dixon on first. Everybody will be off of the pitch. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4 outside. The breaking ball never broke back. On it toward the plate. So another bases loaded walk. The Vikings would get another run. And now it is 7-1 Pacelli. 3 runs in the inning for the Vikings. Can they add more? Cal Brent's looking to do so. Brent flew out to left to end the first. He's up, bases juiced, 2 outs. First pitch to Brent. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Brent has worked his way into the starting lineup, the sophomore starting at third base. Hitting .350 on the year. He's got 3 RBI. Here's the 0-1. Brent takes it low. Good eye on that one. So the 1-1 count. So we got Carter on second, Carter on third, Dixon on second, and Maglione on first. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball outside, trying to get that backdoor curve. It's not slicing back as much as he wants it to. So Kennedy behind the count, 2-1. Working quicker this time. Here's the delivery. And up in the air, in the infield. Who's going to get this one? Shortstop Brock Johnson under it, takes it, and that ends the inning. But in the inning, the Vikings with 3 more runs. And they do it again on just 1 hit. There are no errors and 3 runners left on base. At the end of 2 innings, Pacelli 7, Westfield 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists. pessimists, exhibitionists, for long-distance love, for the far-sighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone. At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Hey, Coca-Cola is a proud presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Their deep connection to our schools and dedication to youth sports makes them the perfect partner. As we go into the top of the third inning here at Diamond Field, the Pacelli Vikings taking on those Westfield Hornets in the opening game of a 3-game district series. Pacelli jumping out to a 7-1 lead. We go into this third inning, 9-1-2 due up. Rhodes Bledsoe, Win Hoots, and Blake Loden will come to the plate. Bledsoe leading things off, swing and a miss, strike one. Bledsoe was at the plate when Cooper Kennedy was thrown out stealing in the second inning to end the frame. It's an 0-1 count. Billy Smith delivers, swinging, sent down the left side and foul. Smith has been ahead of the hitters all game long. He's walked just one hitter. So now it's an 0-2 count on Rhodes Bledsoe. The delivery up high. He has to duck back a little bit. 1-2 count. And it is now 6 o'clock. The bell's now tolling over at St. Anne's Catholic Church here on campus. Here's the 1-2. Swing and miss, strike three. That's the third strikeout of the game for Billy Smith and the first out here in the top of the third inning. That brings up Win Hoots, the junior center fielder. Hoots led off the game with a triple to center field. He later came in and scored on a ground out. That's accounted for the Hornets' run. Hoots, a good ball player, hitting 340. He came in hitting 349 with a homer. And he sends it to center field once again. Nolan Vaughn near the fence, chasing it down. He makes the catch this time for out number 2. Hoots got all of that one. If you got a little more in front of that, who knows what would have happened. The wind is also blowing in just a little bit, which Billy Smith will not complain about. All right, Blake Loden coming to the plate. Loden grounded to short in his first at bat and got an RBI for his trouble. That brought in Hoots with that run for the Hornets. Now Loden trying to see what he can do with 2 outs, keep things going. First pitch from Smith, strike one, outside corner. Smith's been pretty much in control of this one. Hoots is the one guy who's been giving him trouble. Next pitch, grounded. Kind of inside-out swing to third. Brent over to first. Nice play by Sherman, and that ends the inning. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 2 1/2 innings, Pacelli 7, Westfield 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Vision's morning show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Vision's morning show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Vision's morning show, and download the Sports Vision's radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Georgia, Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hey, from the sidelines to surgery, Houston Clinic, proud presenting sponsor on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. They keep athletes in the game, and you are in the game right now. Bottom of the third inning, the Pacelli Vikings coming to the plate, taking a 7-1 lead into this frame. The Vikings sending 8 men to the plate in the first, 9 in the second, posting 4 runs and 3 runs. So here we go. Carter Dixon stepping up. He will lead things off. Dixon struck out to open the second. Here in the third, trying to get things started the proper fashion. Cooper Kennedy on the mound. Kennedy came in. He walked a couple of batters. He came with the bases loaded, so he surrendered 2 runs. Not his, but 2 runs. And then got a pop out to get out of the jam. Kennedy starting fresh here. First pitch to Dixon. Dixon swinging, strike 1. Kennedy, a left-hander with some good breaking stuff. He's a freshman, making his team leading 8th appearance of the season. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Kennedy's showing good poise out there on the mound. Carter Dixon trying to see if he can get that lead, be the leadoff man to get things cranked up. Kennedy's 0-2. Swing and a miss, drop third strike. Bledsoe to first. They get the out this time, and it is out number 1, K2-3 if you're scoring, folks. And that will bring up Cam Carino. Carino in this contest, 2 at-bats, 2 plate appearances, 2 walks, 3 stolen bases, and 2 runs scored. And timeout's called. Umpire Chris Hasty talking to Matt Ward. Quick discussion. As I mentioned, they're being very careful with the top of the Vikings lineup. Carino especially has been red hot. He ripped the game. He led off the bottom of the first inning against Brookstone in the first game of that series by ripping one to center field, and no doubt solo home run to get things started against the Cougars. He's got a couple homers on the season, hitting .420 coming in. And the first pitch to Carino. It's a strike. Breaking pitch from Kennedy. Count now 0-1. Carino, the junior second baseman. Slams it up the middle. It's batted down by Kennedy. There's no way they're going to get Carino. He is just too fast. The ball just slammed up the middle. Kennedy managed to get his glove on it and slow it down. Birch Johnson came in, scooped it, and tried to get Carino, but Carino was safe by at least 2-3 steps. The ball was slowed down so much, and Carino with his speed, remember, he's a running back in football for a reason. He's on. So Carino 1 for 1 on the day, his 3rd time on base. Nolan Vaughn coming to the plate. Vaughn struck out both times, but the first time was a drop third strike. He would come in to score. First pitch, Vaughn showing bunt, pulls it back, strike 1. As I mentioned, Carino 3 stolen bases today. He's got a dozen on the season, leads the team. Left-hander on the mound, though, instead of the right-hander, Carter Black, so maybe the lead isn't quite as much this time. Kennedy to first. Throw a little bit high, batted down by Brooks Bentley. Bentley doing a good job over there, keeping it in front of him. Because it gets loose and goes anywhere, Carino's going to be off to the races. One of the fastest guys on the team. So here we go. Is it another shot at the first pitch? And he goes to the plate. Carino breaks, and no doubt about that one either. Another stolen base for Carino. Number 4 on the day, number 13 on the season. Vikings with a runner in scoring position with 1 out. They're back in business again. Nolan Vaughn at the plate, but he's down 0-2. Vaughn, I'd like to get an RBI here. Kennedy delivers in the dirt. 1-2 count on Nolan Vaughn. And, of course, they're keeping a big eye on Carino back there. Second baseman Loden playing near the base. Carino breaks for third on the pitch. Vaughn sending it to left field. And it is caught by the left fielder. Are they going to get the double play? And they do. Vaughn flew out to left field. Carino had a big jump. But the left fielder coming up with it, firing at the second, and that is a double play, and that ends the inning. in the inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 3, Pacelli 7, Westfield 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Houlihan serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihan's delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the Doubletree Hotel.
And we're back at Diamond Field, top of the 4th inning. Westfield bringing their 3, 4, 5 hitters to the plate. Brock Johnson will lead things off. He's the shortstop. He struck out in his first at-bat. Johnson, the most dangerous hitter on the team by far. I mean, you come into the game hitting .614, you better keep an eye on a dude like that. First pitch, swinging, line to single to center field. Over the head of Smith. Wasn't anybody going to get that one. So a line single to center for Brock Johnson. And the Hornets are on the move here in the top of the 4th inning. They've got something going here. Brooks Bentley comes to the plate. The first baseman singled to right field back in the 1st inning. Smith has given up just 3 hits here in the 4 innings. One of them is his leadoff hit. First pitch, Bentley swinging into the screen, strike 1. Got to keep an eye on Johnson. Johnson with 10 stolen bases on the season. They want to keep an eye on him. Over to first. Putting the tag on him. Dustin Sherman taps him. But he's in fairly easily. 0-1 count now on Brooks Bentley. Billy Smith comes set. And the pitch. Bentley sending it to right field. Deep to right field. Will it stay in the ballpark? Off the scoreboard. A home run for Brooks Bentley. And Westfield on the board with a couple of runs, and they cut the Pacelli lead to 7-3. For Bentley, his first home run of the season. That was a no-doubter. He just got all of that one. Put it off the scoreboard in right field. So
Now batting.
The Hornets getting a little shot on the arm with that one. 2 runs here in the first, nobody out, or in the 4th, nobody out. They cut the deficit to 4. And coming to the plate is Will Canterbury, the 3rd baseman. Canterbury struck out in his first at-bat. First pitch to Canterbury, inside corner strike, right on the black. Perfect pitch from Smith, who is working quickly. Here's his 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Smith was just, give me the ball, I got this. 0-2. Fouled off. Let's see if it hits any cars. Hey, he put it on the softball field instead. Usually the cars over on the third base side are fairly safe, but not today. Usually it's the cars behind us that are the problem. Not today so far. And the pitch a little bit up. 4 ball. 1-2 count now. Smith trying to get the first out of this inning and kind of just retake command at the command he's had so far today. The pitch on the corner, strike 3. On the black, outside, strike 3. That's strikeout number 4 of the day for Smith, and out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Carter Black, the pitcher. Black flew out to left field in his first at bat. That was back in the 2nd inning. Or Black was the pitcher. First pitch, ball 1. Smith winds, delivers 1-0. Just a little bit inside. Count now 2-0. The wind and the pitch. In the dirt, 3-0 now. Smith getting set. Here's his 3-0. We'll see what Black is taking all the way. He was. That's a strike. 3-1 count now. Hornets getting a little bit of new life here in the fourth with that 2-run home run by Brooks Bentley. Pitch, ground ball, sharply hit at the screen in front of the dugout. The Hornets dugout the count remains 3-2 count now. 3-2 count, full count on Carter Black. Smith gets the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball, strike three looking. That's strikeout number 2 in the inning, number 5 of the day for Smith. So with 2 outs, Brett Yon comes to the plate. Yon started the day in right field, moved over to left. He's the guy that gunned Cam Carino for the double play to end the 3rd inning. In Yon's first at bat, he had a seed right up the middle that was right at Billy Smith, who, if he hadn't caught it, would have got a major league bruise on that one. He ripped it hard. Here's the 1-0 to Yon. A little bit outside, ball 2. 2-0 count. Smith trying to just basically retake command, retake momentum here. Get this 3rd out. Fouled off. Count now 2-1. Billy Smith has been efficient so far today. All things considered, Smith's only thrown, I believe, 60 pitches. Nope, 59. This will be pitch number 60. In the 4th inning, averaging 15 pitches an inning. Not bad. Getting the sign. Goes into delivery, 2-1. Fouled off, 2-2. He's just reaching back, rearing back, and letting it go. So it's 2-2 count now on Brett Yon. 2 outs here in the 4th. Pacelli holding a 4-run lead. Smith rocks and fires. Ground ball, sharply hit. Carino scoops it up over to Sherman for the out, and that is the inning. In the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. At the end of 3 1/2 innings, Pacelli 7, Westfield 3. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Whether you're building your business or finding your dream home, G2 Real Estate is with you every step of the way. Commercial or residential, our mission is the same, turning your vision into reality. With experience, insight, and a commitment to your success, we're more than brokers, we're your partners. G2 Real Estate, building futures one property at a time.
Hey, don't forget, we're going to name our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game when this thing is over with. Got a lot of baseball to be played yet. Right now, I'd be leaning toward Billy Smith, but like I said, we've got some baseball to go here as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. The Vikings leading Westfield by a score of 7-3 in this District 5 series opener. The 2 teams will meet up again on Thursday. They'll head back to Perry and play a doubleheader at Westfield on Thursday. Both teams had problems in their first series. Westfield did manage to salvage the final game of their series with Calvary. Pacelli got swept by Brookstone. Both teams are hungry for some wins. Want to see what they can do making a climb in these standings. The other district series this week, Calvary is taking on Strong Rock. Strong Rock is playing their opener today. They're playing Calvary. They're hosting Calvary today. Then two will meet up for a doubleheader at Calvary later in the week. And so here we go, leading things off for the Vikings. The number 3 hitter, Jacob Velos. Velos got on an error, drove in a run with that ground ball in the first and would later score. He also singled in a run and scored in the second. First pitch, Velos swinging, sending a right side foul into the trees, and that is strike one. Velos looking to jump on it quick. Fourth inning, it's already his third plate appearance of the day. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, it hits the bat. And so the count now 0-2. Kennedy gets the sign. Shakes it off. Steps off the rubber. Trying to get things the way he wanted. There, he likes it finally. After shaking his head 3 or 4 times. And here's the 0-2. Breaking ball. Sent down the third baseline. It is fair. It skipped right over the base. Velos rounding first, heading to second. Chasing around in the left field. He thought about going to third, but held up, which was a smart move because left fielder Brent Yawn finally got his hand on it. And he would have gunned Velos at third. It would have been a short throw. But Jacob Velos patiently sending it down the line. He was right on the chalk, hopped right over the base. I mean, it landed foul behind third, but it went over the base. It was pretty clear. And so give him a leadoff double here in the bottom of the fourth. Dustin Sherman coming to the plate. Vikings up by 4. They'd like more. First pitch, up high, ball 1. 1-0 count on Sherman. Sherman has walked both times he came to the plate. He scored in the second inning. Cooper Kennedy gets the sign, goes into the stretch, and delivers. Catches the corner, strike 1. 1-1 count. Velos taking a pretty solid lead off second. He's got 2 stolen bases already this season. Or this today, giving him 8 on the year. Kennedy comes set. Throw to second. He threw it to Loden. Loden wasn't near the base. He was committed to throwing. Either Loden didn't get the sign or whatever. But the Hornets managed to keep it from going into the outfield. Try it again. 1-1 count. To the plate. Breaking pitch outside. 2-1 count. On senior first baseman Dustin Sherman. Levi Thompson on deck. Thompson had a 2-run single earlier in this contest. Here's your 2-1. Sherman swinging up in the air, right side, right field. Will it stay in the ballpark? The answer is yes. Caught by right fielder Carter Black. Velos tags up and goes to third on the foul out. So it wasn't a total loss there. Sherman flying out, a foul fly to right. Caught by Carter Black, but it allows Velos to go to third. So now Velos is just 90 feet away with 1 out, and that brings up catcher Levi Thompson, the junior, with a 2-run single in the first inning, and then he walked in the first. He walked in a run. He walked in the second. First pitch swing and strike 1. Left-hander Cooper Kennedy trying to see if he can get out of this without any damage. Getting the sign from Rhodes Bledsoe. Here's his 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Velos taking a fairly healthy lead off third, but there's only so much you can do. Again, of course, this is one of those high school fields where the backstop is really close to home plate. So wild pitch has to carry him before you're going to get anything out of it. And a pitch up high for a ball. 2-1 count now. Dealers with good speed, though. Thompson. He'd love to add a third ribby in the day. Kennedy's pitch. Breaking ball. Outside. Broke back into the strike zone. One of those backdoor curves. Effective coming from a lefty to a right-handed hitter. Count now 2-2. One out here in the fourth. Kennedy. That time the curveball does not break over the plate, so it's a full count now. 3-2. 3-2 count on Levi Thompson. And here comes the payoff pitch. Up high, ball four. Thompson walking for the second time in the ball game. And now put runners in the quarters with one out. Aiden Dixon coming to the plate. Meanwhile, Greg Carter is going to get back out there as the courtesy runner for the catcher. So Jacob Velos on third. Greg Carter on first. Aiden Dixon at the plate. Dixon, in his 2 plate appearances, has walked and walked. One of those walks was an RBI walk, and brought in one of those 3 runs in the second inning. Cooper Kennedy out of the stretch. The pitch, breaking pitch, grounded towards second. Over to second for one. Brock Johnson throw to first, beats the runner, and that is the inning. Good defense by the Hornets. Saves a run for them. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4, it's Pacelli 7, Westfield 3. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Back at Dynamo Field. Hey, Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to welcome our newest sponsor, Planet Fitness. We're excited to have them on board for this season, and it's a good reminder I got to go in and pick up some heavy objects. I haven't been doing it enough lately. All right, we go into the top of the 5th inning. Coming to the plate, 8-9-1 for Westfield.
Number 5,
Cooper Kennedy now pitching will lead things off. Kennedy walked and was caught stealing in the second. First pitch from Billy Smith. Kennedy lines it to left field or center field, and it dunks in for the single. Perfect Texas leaguer. And Westfield is in business as the leadoff man in the 5th gets on. We'll see if Kennedy runs or if they bring in a courtesy runner. Coming to plate is Rhodes Bledsoe. Bledsoe struck out in the 3rd. Kennedy will remain to run. And so Billy Smith pitching out of the stretch, trying to maintain a 4-run lead here in the 5th. First pitch to Bledsoe. He bunts right back to Smith. Smith goes to first. He thought about going to second, but thought better of it. Sacrifice bunt advances the runner
now batting, number 1.
To second base. So Westfield, the runner in scoring position and 1 out here, brings up the top of the lineup, and that's Win Hoots. Hoots has gotten a lot of contact, barreled up big time both times. tripled the center in the first. Smith. There's his 1-0. Fastball a little bit up and out. Ball 2. 2-0 count. And time call, Matt Ward. And Levi Thompson, along with Jacob Velos, congregating at the mound to talk to Billy Smith. Smith has thrown a great game so far. I mean, to this point, Smith, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, but he struck out 5 and walked only 1. He's pretty much been in command of this thing from Jump Street. They're just trying to calm him down, get him going. I mean, he's only thrown 65 pitches, so there's still a lot of life left in his arm, which is a lively arm, of course. Vikings, 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second. Only did it on a couple of hits. There was a lot of gifts in there that they gladly accepted. The Vikings have been making the most of their opportunities. They only had 4 hits on the day. So here we go. Hoots at the plate. He's ahead of the count at 2-0. Here's Smith's pitch. Strike 1. Hoots was taking that one all the way. So 2-1 count now and win Hoots. Cooper Kennedy at second. Smith comes set. Here's his 2-1 delivery. Hoots up in the air, this time to right field. Aiden Dixon under it. Makes the catch. Kennedy tags to go to third. The relay throw from Velos bounces off. It caromed off something and rolled into the dugout. And that will allow the runner to score. Billy Smith dove for it, tried to keep it from rolling in the dugout. There wasn't anything he could do about it. So that is a run for the Hornets. They will take it. So Hoots flying out to right. Kennedy advanced, lining the single to right field through the right side of the infield. And so the Hornets are still alive here in the top of the 5th inning. They've cut what once looked like an ugly 7-1 lead. They've cut it down to 7-4, and they're threatening to do more. And their top hitter is coming to play, Brock Johnson. Johnson struck out in the first, but singled and scored in the 4th. He came in to score on a home run, the one that kind of turned the tide here. And over to first, holding Loden back there, Billy Smith trying to keep Loden from wandering off too far. Loden with 2 stolen bases on the season already. Smith checks the runner, comes set. First pitch to Johnson, outside, curveball, ball 1. He's going to be careful here. 1-0 count on junior Brock Johnson, the talented shortstop. Smith's pitch, outside, ball 2. Of course, the bottom of the 4th ended on a double play. Ground ball to second from Loden, and Johnson just absolutely gunned Aiden Dixon. Showed off that arm, the arm that you'd expect from a quarterback. The pitch, fouled off into the screen for a strike. 2-1 count now on Brock Johnson. Smith, giving up 6 hits on the day. Struck out 5 so far. Johnson being one of those victims. Checks the runner. Comes set. And time is called. Smith just waited, and Johnson asked for time after a while. Granted, everybody steps back, everybody resets, and we will try it again. Blake Loden taking a pretty good lead off of first, got 1 foot on the green. Here's the pitch. Johnson grounds it to short. Velos over to second to Carino for the out, and that ends the inning. Nice defense there by the Vikings. In the inning, there was 1 run, and there were 2 hits. There was an error, and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4 1/2 innings, Pacelli 4, Pacelli 7, Westfield 4. You are watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team The only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine treat sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today.
I'm bringing my other half.
I'm bringing the pep talk.
Come on.
I'm clearing my head.
And I'm clearing 300.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join in club or online today. Deal ends soon. See club for details.
And we're back here at Diamond Field for the bottom of the 5th inning. And Westfield with a new pitcher coming on. It's Will Canterbury. He comes on in. It's his 8th appearance of the season. Canterbury, usually a starter, 4-1 in the year with a 3.55 ERA. He's pitched for 21 2/3 innings, given up just 17 hits, 14 runs, 11 of them earned, struck out 30, walked 15. He's given up 1 homer, 11 wild pitches, but hitters hitting just 215 off of him. So he's definitely forced one of the 2 seniors on the ball club. For Pacelli, it'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming to the plate. The Vikings, seeing what was once a 7-1 lead, shrink to 7-4. They're trying to see what they can do about getting some of that back.
Sean Maglione.
And so here we go. Sean Maglione coming to the plate. He struck out and got on a drop third strike, and he walked in this contest. Will Canterbury winds his first pitch. Breaking ball outside. Check. Waiting to see what he can do. Canterbury's 0-2. Breaking ball. Maglione just a duck out of that one. Duck away from that one. 1-2 count. Sophomore designated hitter. Trying to get the Vikings off to try to shift the momentum a little bit here. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss on the curveball, strike 3. So out number 1 for the Vikings.
Now batting for your Vikings.
And that'll bring up Cal Brent, the sophomore third baseman. Brent's popped out twice, flew out to left and then popped to short in his 2 at-bats. Westfield stopped the bleeding. Now they're trying to see if they can come back. Brent, big swing on that one. Pitch was a little bit out of the zone. Chased it. Strike 1. 0-1 count now on Cal Brent. And the pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. Not a bad crowd here today. Decent crowd here for a Tuesday. And a nice day. I mean, the temperature's been in the 70s. Light breeze. It's now cloudy. The sun is ducked behind the clouds. Field is completely in shade. Next pitch up high, 2-1. Of course, we're a good ways away. We're still an hour and a half away from sunset, so that's not even an issue. If the lights aren't on, they don't need to be on. It's just there's no sunshine on the field at this point. The pitch, big swing by Brent, 2-2. Yeah, earlier in the game, when the sun was out, left field was a place of danger because left field's a bad sun field here at Diamond Field. Here's 2-2, up high, ball 3. So Brent works the count full. 3-2 count. 1 out here in the 5th. Vikings up 3. They'd like to extend it. Will Canterbury winds the payoff. Brent lines it down the third base line, but it goes foul. A little bit of tail on it and hit over there on along the fence along the side. Over toward the football stands. So, count remaining 3-2. Alex Aponte is on deck. Here's Canterbury's payoff. Ooh! It catches Brent in the helmet. That's one way to get on base, but not the way you want.
Alex Aponte.
It The way it caught the helmet, it's obvious Brent is okay. And Alex Aponte steps up. Aponte, sophomore, hitting 167 on the year with a couple of runs batted in. He will see what he can do here. Canterbury comes set. We're out with a pretty good lead off first. First pitch. Aponte, ground ball to short. Johnson flips it to Loden. Loden over to first, and they get him, and that is the inning. Another double play, the second straight inning that the Hornets pull off a double play to end the inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 5, Pacelli 7, Westfield 4. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Jones with the Sports Visions Morning Show for the best in local, regional, and national sports news. Weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You can find the Sports Visions Morning Show on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify by typing in the Sports Visions Morning Show, and download the Sports Visions radio app right now in your app store today.
Sports Vision 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
Step into history at Millhouse Kitchen and Bar. Nestled along the Chattahoochee River, Millhouse is more than a restaurant. It's a dining experience. Enjoy Southern classics with a bold twist, river views, impeccable ambience, and exceptional service. Join us for dinner or cocktails and see for yourself. Reserve your table online at millhouseatcityknolls.com.
Top of the 6th inning, Pacelli leading Westfield by a score of 7-4, but the Hornets have made it interesting. They were down at 1.7-1, but they've been chipping away. Billy Smith on the mound. Having a good ball game here. Smith, 5 innings, 6 hits, giving up 4 earned runs. That last run should not be listed as earned. It should be an unearned run, but anyway, no, it is listed as earned run. He's given up, struck out 5 and walked just 1.
Now batting number 10, Brooks Bentley.
Cleanup hitter Brooks Bentley coming to the plate. Bentley homered in his last at bat. 2-run shot that did cut that advantage to 7-3. He also singled in the first inning. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Takes that first pitch outside for ball 1. Smith, the 1-0 delivery. Strike. Low at the knees. Paints the black. Perfect pitch. 1-1 count now on Brooks Bentley. The delivery, Bentley swinging, sends it left side. It will slice out of play back on the other side of the stands here on the third base side. Count now 1-2. Smith gets his sign from Thompson. Into motion. The pitch way out there. Ball 2. 2-2 count. Again, Bentley, sophomore first baseman, dangerous. Hit his first home run of the season. As I mentioned, back in the 4th. And here is Smith's 2-2. Ground ball right side. Carino scoops it up over to Sherman for out number 1. So 1 out here in the 6th inning.
Now batting number 7, Will.
And that brings up Will Canterbury, the senior pitcher now. He started the game at third base, moved over to pitcher. He struck out twice. He struck out in the first and in the 4th. Here's Smith's first pitch to Canterbury. A little bit up, 4 ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Smith gets the signal. Here we go. Pitch. Again, a little bit outside. Ball 2. Smith now hit the 80 pitch mark. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Canterbury, big swing there. 2-1 count now. Working quickly. Here comes Smith at the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Up high. Got him to chase. Got him to come out of his shoes on that one. 2-2 count now on Will Canterbury. There's a big at bat here. 2-2. Sent to right field, and it's in the gap. It'll go to the fence for extra bases. They bring it on in, but it's a double for Will Canterbury. And the Hornets are in business with one out here in the 6th inning, down 3. Brings up Carter Black. Black now playing third base after all the switches. Matt Ward coming out to the mound, and there's going to be a pitching change, it appears. And the day is over for Billy Smith. All right, let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location, being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And we're back at Dimel Field. A pitching change for the Pacelli Vikings. Nathan Boatner, the senior, coming on in relief of Billy Smith. This will be his 6th appearance on the year. Boatner 1-3 on the season with a 4.69 earned run average. 28 in the third innings. He's given up 41 hits, 25 runs, 19 earned. Struck out 12, walked 6, and given up a pair of homers. Hit a couple of batters. Opposing hitters hitting .339 off of him. But the big thing about bringing Boatner in now, Boatner is a left-hander, and his style is completely different from Smith's. It's going to be a completely different look for the Hornets as they go from a guy who's basically known for his fastball to a guy who's known for a lefty breaking ball guy. Sinker slider dude. So we will see how things go here on the top of the 6th. The Hornets are threatening. A runner on second with one out. Carter Black coming to the plate. Now, Black is 0 for 2 in the day. Flew out to left, and he struck out. Here's Boatner's first pitch. Up high for a ball 1. The numbers on Smith. Smith's 5 1/3 innings with 7 hits. Gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, at least to this point. He's responsible for the runner on second. Struck out 5, walked 1. Here's Boatner's 1-0. Outside ball 2. 2-0 count now on Carter Black. Vikings up 7-4. Westfield threatening here in the top of the 6th. Boatner comes set. 2-0. There it is, strike 1. Black was taken all the way, which you'd expect. New pitcher comes in, throws 2 balls. You're not swinging. You're not going to swing till he throws something across the plate. Well, here's Boatner's 2-1. Breaking pitch inside. 3-1 count now on Carter Black, the sophomore third baseman. Boatner gets a sign from Thompson. The senior comes set. 3-1 strike. That was right there. 3-2 count now. We got a full count. Canterbury with a good leadoff second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Velo scoops it up over to Sherman at first for the out. Runner advancing to third on the play. But there are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. That brings up Brett Yawn. Yawn got all of it in the second inning, but it was a line drive right back at Billy Smith on the mound, where Smith didn't even have to move his glove. It was just right there. He had grounded out the second to end the 4th. First pitch to Yawn. Nope. Close, but not quite. Ball 1. Canterbury on third. In a 3-run contest here in the top of the 6th. Next pitch, ground ball, sharply hit to Cam Carino over to first, and that is that. So in the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. At the end of 5 1/2 innings, Pacelli 7, Westfield 4. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
All right, remember, we're going to name our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game. We still got some game to go, though. Here, bottom of the sixth inning, Pacelli leading 7-4 over Westfield, trying to see if they can extend what's turned into a nervous lead since the Hornets have cut that lead in half from back in the second inning. And leading things off is Cam Carino. The junior second baseman's had himself a game. He is 1 for 1, but he walked the other 2 times. He's got 4 stolen bases on the day. Scored a couple of runs and got a hit in that one at bat where he actually got an at bat rather than just a plate appearance. First pitch from Canterbury. Take it for strike 1. Carino's been the hottest hitter on the team too. He's trying to get things going here so they can add a little cushion here in the 6th. Pitch, ground ball on the fist, grounds it foul. That was weighing him on the fist. He still managed to pull it. Got a little bit in front of it. So now the count is 0-2 on the junior second baseman. Will Canterbury on the mound. Here's his 0-2. Breaking pitch. He gets Carino to chase. It's in the dirt. Throw down to first is on target. So Carino strikes out. The 2-3 put out. That's the second one of those. There's been a lot of strikeouts. The ball in the dirt. 2 drop third strikes where the runners got on and would score. Or one of them scored. And then 2 where they actually completed the play. All right, Nolan Vaughn coming to the plate. Vaughn was one of those drop third strikes that got on and scored. He also struck out in the second and flew out in the third. Comes to plate here in the 6th. Nobody on. 1 out. Pacelli up 3. Will Canterbury delivers first pitch, strike 1. Canterbury came in to shut the door, or basically came into the 5th inning and kept the Vikings off the board. Now it's a ground ball to short. Brock Johnson fired it to first, and he gets him by half a step. Brock Johnson showing off his arm on that one. He came in, charged the ball the way you're supposed to. You have to attack it, and just fired it. And Vaughn, with his great speed, almost beat that one out. So 2 out, nobody on. Jacob Velos coming to the plate. Velos, 2 for 3 on the day. He's gotten on base every time. Scored a couple of runs, driven in 2. Did a single and a double. First pitch to Velos. Breaking pitch. He lays off at strike 1. He thought like, oh, I really wanted that one. But strike 1. Canterbury working quickly, gets the sign. And here's his 0-1 delivery. Velos lines it down the third, lines it towards the dugout. He was a little bit in front of that one. A couple of Vikings had to duck out of the way on that. So count now 0-2 on sophomore shortstop Jacob Velos. Canterbury delivers. Velos, ground ball up the middle base hit. Another hit for Jacob Velos, his 3rd of the day. And the Vikings remain in business here in the 2nd. Dustin Sherman coming to the plate. The senior second baseman walked twice. He scored once, and he fouled out in the 4th. Throw over to first, and Velos gets picked off. That was a great move by Will Canterbury. It's the 3rd time he's picked a runner off this season, and that ends the inning. So in the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There are no errors, nobody left on base. We are going to go to the 7th inning. Pacelli leading 7-4. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Back at Dynamo Field, top of the 7th inning, the Pacelli Vikings trying to put this one in the books. Well, Westfield is trying to say, hold on a minute, we're not done yet. 3-run deficit for the Hornets, 3-run advantage for the Vikings. Nathan Boatner in to try to close things out here. He came in the 6th inning and slammed a door and kept Westfield off the board. It's 8, 9, and 1 due up in this frame. Cooper Kennedy will lead things off. First pitch to Kennedy, he bunts, foul. Kennedy walked and was caught stealing in the 2nd. He singled and then scored in the 5th. Again, Pacelli up 7-4. They jump out to a 7-1 lead. They've been hanging on since then. Great pitching performance by Billy Smith. Nathan Boatner trying to finish it off. Boatner gets the sign, and here is his 0-1 delivery. Kennedy not bunting this time, takes it for a ball. Count now 1-1. The Hornets trying to get something going, anything going. They're down 3 with 3 outs remaining. Boatner, pitch, ball. 2-1 count now. It's a lefty and lefty matchup here. The 2-1. Up high, 3-1. Kennedy hasn't had a bad day himself. He came in, pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up just 2 hits and no runs. Kind of calmed things down when the Vikings looked like they were going to run away with this thing. Here's Boatner's 3-1. Ball 4. It was close, but not quite. So Kennedy walks. The leadoff man is on for Westfield. The Hornets have something cooking here in the 7th. The Vikings 3 outs away, but they still got to get those 3 outs. In high school ball, the 21st out is always the toughest. They'll bring up Rhodes Bledsoe, the catcher. Bledsoe struck out in the 3rd and then dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th. The first pitch. Bledsoe lines the single to left field. Aiden Dixon getting the ball in quickly. So Kennedy cannot advance more than 1 base, but that brings a tying run to the plate in the person of Win Hoots. And Hoots has been ripping the ball. Hoots tripled and scored in the 1st. Flew out in the 3rd and then flew out in the 5th. And looks like it's time for a pitching change here. Let's take a break. You are watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible. To be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Just keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And we're back at Dynamo Field. The Pacelli Vikings with a pitching change here in the top of the 7th inning. Jacob Velos coming in from shortstop to try to close the door here as the Hornets have gotten their 2 leadoff guys on here in the 7th, bringing the tight run to the plate. For Velos, this is his 5th appearance of the season. Velos 1-1 of the year, the 2.40 ERA. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings, giving him just 9 hits, 7 runs, 4 of them earned, struck out 15 and walked 11. Opposing hitters hitting .205 against him. Velos, hard throwing right-hander, trying to close it out. Landon Lauk has moved in, came into the ball game. He's now at second base, and Cam Carino sliding over from second to shortstop. So here we go. This is going to be a good one. Win Hoots coming to the plate is a tying run. Now, Hoots led off the ball game. He just crushed one to center field. Nolan Vaughn almost came up with it but could not. Turned into a triple, and Hoots would later score. In the third, he hammered it to the left to right center field. Vaughn caught it about two steps from the fence, and then they flew out to right field, got all of that one, too, in the fifth. So Hoots have been getting good contact all game long, but that was all off Billy Smith. This is Jacob Velos, and this may be a whole nother ball game. So here we go. Velos out of the set for his first pitch. Hoots showing bunt, pulls back. It's outside, ball one. Bells are ringing. It is now 7 o'clock here on the campus of St. Anne Pacelli High School and at St. Anne Catholic Church. Velos gets the sign, comes set, and here is his 1-0. Big swing by Hoots, kind of chased that one, got him to go after it. Count now 1-1. And you're picturing a situation like this. If you can get your guy to get the hitter to expand the strike zone a little bit, you're more than happy to see it happen. All right, 1-1. Velos comes set. And the pitch. In the dirt, gets past Levi Thompson. Both runners will move up on the wild pitch. Which eliminates the possibility of a double play grounder here. So runners in second and third, nobody out. It's a 3-run contest. When Hoots at the plate, he represents a tying run. 2-1 from Velos. In the dirt, 3-1. Vikings trying to close this thing out. They had a 7-1 lead at one point. Now it's 7-4. They're battling, trying to earn their first district victory of the season. The 3-1. Outside, ball 4. So Hoots walks. Bases are now loaded. And they'll bring up Blake Loden. Loden ground out, had an RBI in the first, grounded out to end the third, and then singled. And a run scored. Run scored on an error when they bringing the throw in the fifth inning. First pitch to Loden. In the dirt, ball 1. Velos, 15 strikeouts but 11 walks on the season. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, beautiful, right down the middle. Strike one. That was a beautiful pitch. 1-1 count on Blake Loden. The delivery. Loden swing on that breaking pitch. 1-2. A strikeout here would be big. Velos, the sign. Here's his 1-2. Another breaking ball, a little bit outside. Couldn't get him to chase it. Count now 2-2. On deck, the dangerous Brock Johnson. Velos gets the sign. And the 2-2. Line to right field. It's a base hit. Falls in. Aiden Dixon gets it in quickly. 1 run comes home, but that's it. Blake Loden, an RBI single to right field, and that plates a run. It's now 7-5, and there's still nobody out, and the bases loaded, and Brock Johnson comes to the plate. Johnson, top hitter on the Hornets. 9 home runs in the season. He is dangerous. The quarterback, one of the top basketball players at the school as well. Velos, first pitch, swinging on the breaking pitch. Gets him to chase, strike one. So here we go. This is the big at bat here. Velos, the 0-1. Almost gets him to go. Just a little bit inside. Check swing, but he held back. 1-1 count. That was a nasty curveball. Velos winds. Here's his 1-1 delivery. Another breaking pitch. Again, just a little bit inside. 2-1. Vikings need an out. Need it badly. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball, grounded to third. Coming home for the force. They get one. That's the first out of the inning. It was a hopper to Cal Brent. Brent bringing it home to Levi Thompson. There was no way to get another runner, but they get the out, and that is big. Bases are still loaded, but now there's one out. 1 run in. The lead run's on first, but that's one out. Brooks Bentley coming to the plate. Bentley singled in the first, hit a 2-run homer in the fourth, and grounded to second in the sixth. Velos winds. Here's his first pitch. Bentley chops a little bit foul. And that's strike one. 7-5. Tying runs are in scoring position. Vikings trying to hold on. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. He got Bentley to chase. Now it's an 0-2 count. 0-2 on Brooks Bentley. Jacob Velos trying to close the door here. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Gets past Levi Thompson. Can they get the runner at the plate? They cannot. Wild pitch gets through Thompson. He gets back there. The throw back to Velos, not quick enough. Run scores. It is now 7-6. The tying run now is on third base. Lead run on second. The count 1-2 on Brooks Bentley. Velos gets the sign, steps off the rubber. Things getting reset here. Velos working out of the wind. The 1-2. Fouled off right side. Over toward the football stands. Count remaining 1-2. What was once a comfortable 7-1 lead is now a nervous 7-6 lead. Vikings 2 outs away from finishing it off. The Hornets, on the other hand, they're back in it. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Westfield down to their final out. They have plated 2 runs here in the 7th inning. They are down by just 1. They have the tying run on third, the lead run on second. Will Canterbury coming to the plate. Canterbury struck out twice, and he doubled in the 6th. Jacob Velos, first pitch to Canterbury. Up high, squirts out of the glove of Levi Thompson, but Thompson chases it out quickly. Ball 1. 1-0 count. Folks, this is a finish. No question about it. What a way. What a 7th inning this has been. 1-0 count. Here's Velos' delivery. Another breaking pitch. Not quite. A little bit out. 2-0. 2-0 count on Will Canterbury. He gets the sign. The delivery. Ground ball up the middle. Landon Lauk over to Dustin Sherman, and that's the ball game. The Pacelli Vikings hanging on and posting their first district victory of the season by a final score of 7-6. And I think I have to change originally what I was going to do for player of the game. It's got to be Jacob Velos. Velos coming in going 3 for 3 at the plate, driving in 2 runs, scoring 2 runs himself, stealing a couple of bases, and then coming in the 7th inning to slam the door to earn the save and give the Vikings their 5th victory of the season and their first district win of the year. So Jacob Velos is our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game. And in this one, the Pacelli Vikings taking care of business in Game 1 of this 3-game series. They will meet up again with Westfield on Thursday at Westfield for a doubleheader. A big doubleheader for both squads. But let's put this one in the books. The Pacelli Vikings beating Westfield by a final score of 7-6. For producer Paxton Holloway, I'm Dave Plata. Thanks for watching. You've been watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama.